Let's talk about UFC 303. What a transition. Let's talk about UFC 303 and our predictions for the main event and the surrounding aura and spirit and magic, apparently, that is going into this fight. Folks, we will be live for UFC 303, our watch party this Saturday. Stay tuned for that. I want everybody to come through. We're going to be doing some fun stuff, as always, breaking down all the fights. I will be here Saturday, I guess, 4 p.m. PST, maybe 3, not sure. Make sure you guys are here. But Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira are having their rematch. Alex won the first one. We've all seen that. Short notice fight. Should have been Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. Conor gets injured. These two step in. Legends in the game for doing that. Going to save this card. But as this fight has gotten closer, it's gotten to be a little bit more than just X's and O's, Jimmy's and Joe's here with the fight breakdown. This has been spiritual, miracle, lyrical, Shamala Hamala has entered into this fight. I'm gonna make my prediction here, but I want you guys to hear Jiri Prochazka talk about what gives Alex Pereira advantage in his fight.
Yes, everybody knows that, and he's doing these rituals before the fight. Everybody can feel that what's around him and what's going on. Let the higher power be there in the cage to see who's the best in the world. In the performance, in the pure performance.
So Jiri Prochazka just is essentially saying that Alex Pereira can only fight when he has the gods on his side or something to that nature. Like he does a ritual that he performs, and I assume he's talking about, you know, the face paint and the necklaces and the headgear and the walkout and the bow and arrow and the whole thing. But he's doubling down on this and saying this is the only reason Alex Pereira beats people. He can't win without this. And it's insane, but it also is kind of right on brand for Jiri because he's also a man that you would assume that he is summoning spirits of the samurai with some of the stuff he does. You know, the going out and screaming into the freaking frigid Arctic cold. Some of the ways that he talks about fighting and, you know, the art of war and all that. But now he wants a man-to-man fight, no spirits involved. I'm kind of disappointed as far as the fight itself goes. I don't know, man. Let's look at some highlights from the first fight. Because Jiri has an innate ability to get punched in his face and kneed and elbowed and somehow remain conscious. Or if he goes unconscious, he somehow comes back to life. I don't understand how it happens. He has the greatest and weakest chin all at once in real life ever. Here is the religious and or spiritual, sacrificial, all aura generating ritual that Alex Pereira does that Prochazka's like, no, not this time. Leave your air bow and air arrows at the door, sir. Little outside leg kick there from Jiri. He's so unorthodox, and I mean that to say it's almost baffling the way he fights. But he's successful doing it, man, and he's got big-time power in his hands, bouncing in and out of range. Look at that. Knee tap to uppercut. That's nice. Oh, shit. Those are the spirits right there. That's what the spirits took Jiri off his feet. That's what he's warning Alex about. He's like, don't bring those spirits into your back leg to kick the shit out of me, all right? Nice outside leg kick. This will be interesting to see, though. If Jiri wrestles more, it'll be interesting to see how the fight can change. If he grapples more. One thing that Pereira has struggled with is if he gets put on his back, you know, him getting to his feet has been a bit of an issue. I think Izzy even took Pereira down. And Jiri has some pretty decent top control if he's able to get there. So, like, Jiri didn't really even go for that single leg, but he had it. It was there. Like, yeah, Pereira makes him miss the first one. I would just keep chasing it. Problem is, when you go and try to wrestle here, you leave your... That's a great takedown. This is what I'm saying. More of this would have been ideal. Decent enough guard here from Alex, right? He's not taking too much damage. But it'd be interesting to see if Jiri were to get to the back or try to like manipulate position to get to submission to then get to your striking. Because right now Alex is tying him up. He's tying up his arms. He's keeping him, when he does try to frame up, he's trying to keep himself close so that Jiri doesn't throw down any, you know, wide open strikes. For Jiri to open the door here, you could maybe chase Kimura, step through mount, or when you go to try to step through mount and Alex does try to get his hips out, which would probably what happened. They try to attack with some ground and pound, but he's trying to posture up and throw elbows right here. That's kind of exclusively what he's doing. Right? You see him tying him up here. This is nice, though. Yuri tried to flatten out there, and then I assumed he was going to try to step through, but now he's going to maybe try to pin this arm. Alex has a decent enough guard at like guard retention, maybe not necessarily full guard retention, but just to keep himself from being damaged. Like he'd immediately, that's a nice elbow. Immediately tries to tie up the arms, you know. That's a nice scramble to the feet there from Alex. Good knee to the body from Yuri. That was honestly, that was pretty decent defensive work there from Pereira. This is the craziest feint, by the way. The fact that Yuri feints with only his head, like his hands are behind him and he's feinting. Here, watch this. That is a level change feint like he's going to wrestle, but it's only with his forehead. And then he tries to go uppercut underneath. He almost gets amazing. Nice hook. Oh, again, the right hand from Yuri. This is, again, dangerous. The way that Alex holds his hands so low and pulls straight back as his defense and relies on his reactions. That lands, man. That gets through. If it lands more clean than that, that is a nasty punch. It was a perfect timing, too. He threw it off the leg kick. See, Alex was full on to that front foot with the weight. But he just didn't catch him cleanly enough. If you overextend, it just takes him one, man. It really takes anybody one it this way, but that left hook lands. And then Yuri's already, you know, struggling. And then Marc Goddard calls it. I remember people being upset with this stoppage. When you watch it back, chat, what do you think? But here's the thing. Having watched the footage back, I see a couple of things. I see the lead low kick from Alex Pereira being a major factor in that fight and potentially in this one because Yuri has seen it. And he's seen what the best counter is to it, which is his overhand right. I think that could definitely play a major factor in this fight if Pereira goes once too many to the low kick to the lead leg, how that affects him being countered with the right hand. Also, I don't know which toe of Pereira's is broken, but if it is his back right leg, and that's the one he usually uses for his low kicks, that could also be a detrimental factor here, on top of the fact that he hasn't been in camp for a fight. He has taken this on, what is it, a week's notice. There's a lot of things making me lean toward Yuri Prochazka in this rematch. The thing that always takes you away from it is the fact that Yuri puts himself in terrible positions to be hit in every fight. The Rakic fight, he gets elbowed. One of the cleanest elbows I think I've ever seen. Step in, clean elbow, Calvin Kattar style, and just eats it. Goes out for I don't want to say he goes out, but his body shuts down for a millisecond, and then he just, okay, I'm back, and then swarms it. Really, honestly, is dependent upon Yuri Prochazka if he's able to remain in the fight. If he's able to remain in the fight for 5 rounds, I think he wins. Even into the later rounds, I think he wins. Purely because I think his pressure and his pace will be a lot for Pereira to handle with no camp and a late notice fight. Even though, again, Yuri's taking this late notice too, but I think he's probably in better shape here. I don't know how the spirits for Pereira are going to affect this fight. I know Yuri is very concerned about them, but I tend to think that this will either be Pereira catching Yuri being super unorthodox, potentially doing that level change where he looks like Naruto and his head is forward and his arms are back and finishing him, or Yuri takes over in the later part of this fight and takes the belt from Pereira. Maybe a late stoppage. I'm going to go with Yuri late stoppage. I'm going to say that this time he's seen where he's vulnerable. I don't know that matters too much in the way he's going to fight, but I think if he makes it through the first couple of rounds and utilizes a little bit more of that wrestling and ground top control, I could see him finishing this fight. I don't know if he'll knock him out or, you know, I don't know. I don't know what it'll be, but I do think that Yuri Prochazka, that's my pick, is going to win this fight in the later rounds. But what happens in this main event? What happens throughout the card at UFC 303? I don't have those answers. My prediction, though, is Yuri Prochazka by stoppage in the later part of the fight. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. But as far as what happens, I don't have those answers. So, guess we'll find out.